Hello, I'm Juliet and we are in Knutsford Vale in southeast Manchester today. Thank you for joining us. I'm grateful for this time we've got together here. So before I talk about what will happen in this session, I'm going to say a little bit about how I came about to do that session. So last year when I was asked to create something for the School of Integration, I didn't want to do something that seemed particularly French because I think this idea of homogeneous, pure nationality or nationalisms are both quite dangerous inventions. But I thought of this practice I do have as a migrant who lives away from home. So one thing I do, which is part of who I am, is that whenever I go home and I see my mom and sister, I give them a hand massage or feet massage. So obviously I only see them a few times a year, and it always feels like there is a lot to catch up, and sometimes it feels like the words are not enough. So by caring for them with touch as I'm talking with them, I feel like it helps to get to a deeper connection that maybe wouldn't be achieved just with words. And also I have two much younger half-brothers, and in the past few years I've been learning about toxic masculinity and male loneliness. So whenever I see them, I also make a point of being in physical contact with them, whether carrying the youngest or holding the teenager. I see touch as a physical connection with yourself or with someone or something else. And for me, touch has a lot to do with listening as well, because when I'm touching someone, we're communicating to that touch, and I'm listening to them through that as well. But also when I'm listening to someone without touching them, I can still feel touched by them. And I think like love, for example, although we usually associate touch with romantic or sexual relationships, I think we could gain a lot from thinking about touch more broadly across all our relationships. As you can see, we are outdoors today. And this is because, like a lot of us, I've been spending more time than I would like on video calls this year. And after a while, I do find videos made in bedrooms with white walls a bit depressing. But also, studies have found that just looking at greenery, even if it's looking at a photograph, does improve your well-being. So I hope that even if you are looking at this video from an indoor setting today, you can still enjoy our outdoor setting. Also this year I've been paying more attention to the effect of spending time in nature on my well-being. And a couple of months ago I started going wild swimming every week. And for me, this kind of really extreme physical sensation of getting into very cold water and then getting out of the water and feeling lots of different temperatures. It kind of feels almost like I've had a massage afterwards. And in a way, I think it's a kind of touch with the water that's maybe making up for lack of human touch at the moment. This is called a lesson. It's more influenced by the practice of re-knowing than teaching. And that's because you all have an experience of touch, you are all experts of your experience of touch, and you all have bodies that can touch or be touched. So everybody's bringing lots of knowledge here. We're going to be doing some moving around, some touching, some thinking, talking as well, and reflecting on how our relationship to touch might have evolved this year with COVID-19. And so obviously you came here knowing there would be an element of touch. And touch can help, or like moving as well, can help relax. And in turn, when you relax, this can lead to emotions coming up. So just something to be conscious of. But please don't feel like, please remember self-care is the most important thing. So yeah, all emotions are welcome, and just do whatever you need to do to feel good. So we're going to do a warm-up now to get ready before the rest of the session. So I've got my housemate joining me now. So this is my housemate, Olivia, and she's part of my bubble, so we're allowed to touch each other. But for now, we're just gonna do a simple centering exercise. So similarly for you, you might be joining on your own, or maybe you're joining with someone who you live with. So, and like the whole session, either way is fine. And one thing as well is that all the instructions I'm gonna give, they are all invitations. So please feel free to adapt them to your own body. So that's how the centering exercise go. If you can, maybe stand up, or you can also stay sat down if you want, but try to have your feet on the ground. And I'd like to invite you to close your eyes as well. So you're just getting situated where you are, feeling like all 5 senses around you. What can they notice? And feeling the length of your body as well, from your feet to the crown of your head, as if it was one line. And slowly you're gonna gently balance your weight over to your toes. So maybe you're coming further a little bit. And now bring your weight to your heels. And now to the outside of your right foot and the inside of your left foot. Back on the toes. Outside of the left foot, inside of the right foot. Back on the heels again. Left heel, right toes. Right heel, left toes. And now spread your weight evenly across all the surface of your feet. And slowly open your eyes. A warm-up to get our body warm up. And this involves touch, so you can either do it to yourself, which is what we'll show first, or you can do it to someone else. And it involves 3 kinds of touch to wake up 3 things. First are the bones, then the muscles, and then the skin. To wake up your bones, you're gonna hit with your hands. So you start with the top of the head, and you're like hitting all over. And you can try different, you can do it quite lightly or quite strongly. On the face, the neck, and then you go down to the shoulders, And with the shoulders in the arms, you can hit a bit harder to reach, you know, through all the bone, all the muscles and everything. The fingers. And then in your back as well. And your front, your hips. And you know, if it's your body, you know if you have contraindications. But if you're doing this to someone else, you can ask them, like, does it need to be a bit lighter? Or maybe the person can say, you can go harder. So all the way down to the feet. And when you feel you've gone everywhere, you can go back up. And now we're going to warm up the muscles. And you do this not with hitting, you do it with squeezing. So I'm just squeezing to try to find where the muscles are. I guess with the head, we're not really used to think about it with muscles. You're just kind of exploring to try to find where the muscles start and end. I always find around there, around the arms, it's quite nice. Then you can squeeze, try to find the small muscles in the fingers, and then the other arm. And then again, finding them in the back, in the torso. Just kind of curiously looking at, touching all of this, trying to understand how it works. Then the other leg. Yeah, and like make sure you go through every part of your body you can think of. Good. And now last one. To wake up the skin, we're gonna just slide like this, swish. It's quite gentle, but you can also press quite hard if you want. Like you're having a shower, maybe. And again, starting from the head, going all the way down. Getting rid of all the cobwebs to the feet. Ah, nice. So now we're gonna do a few minutes of shaking, and that's because there were points this year when I really felt like, kind of for the first time, I think, a real urge to shake my body as hard as possible, like really hard for like several minutes. And usually this would happen maybe after I'd had a very good meeting, for example, and I was feeling very energized and I wanted to get some of that energy out. Or maybe on the contrary, I'd had a bad interaction, or I was feeling angered about something and I needed to shake it out. Or maybe I was just feeling gloomy and I couldn't get out of that gloom, and so was forcing myself to shake. So I'm gonna play a French protest song, And I would like to invite you to shake to it however you want to for the next few minutes. And feel free to stand up if you want. You can close your eyes as well, just like whatever your body wants to do, listening to that song.
Du mouvement social.
Du mouvement social. Movement, social movement, social movement.
Et pas des actionnaires. On veut les fonctionnaires. Et pas les actionnaires.
On veut des fonctionnaires et pas des actionnaires. We want public employees and not stockholders. Public employees, not stockholders.
On veut des fonctionnaires. Et pas des actionnaires.
Grève générale. Tous ensemble, grève générale.
Tous ensemble, grève générale. All together now, general strike. All together now, general strike.
Tous ensemble, grève générale. Tous ensemble, grève générale.
We are now going into the main activity of the session, which is about hand massage, as I mentioned earlier. So I've got my housemate Olivia here, who I'm going to demonstrate with. So we're gonna do both the movements to each other, and also I will do the movements to Olivia. And so you can decide whether to do it on your own or with someone you live with. And everything you need is just a place to be comfortable. So it could be a chair, a sofa. You could get the person who's lying down, who's getting massage to lie down, or you could lie down yourself. But you can even do it on a bus or in a car. Also maybe, so when I'm massaging Olivia, her hand will be resting on her knee like this, for example. But if you want, you could have a towel or a pillow for the arm to rest on. You will also need maybe some oil if you've got some. Could be massage oil or body cream, but it could even be like olive oil or coconut oil. And you can even do it without. So first we start with a greeting. So if you're massaging your own hands, I guess it's just bringing your attention to your hands, just getting in touch with them, maybe noticing how you're feeling, and what you'd get out, what you'd like to get out of the massage. Yeah, what brought you to decide to give yourself a hand massage today? So yeah, just do that. And then if you're with another person and you're giving them the massage, you can do it as a handshake. So I'm holding Olivia's hand like I would in a handshake, with her arm resting on her lap, and I'm putting my other hand on top like that. Just holding, and maybe I'm checking with Olivia, what would you like to get out of this massage? If you have any contraindications that I should be mindful of. So yeah, just a moment to open and connect. Okay. And then once you've done that, you can start the first movement. So the first movement is a stretch for the back of the hand. So if you're massaging your own hand, you can just hold it like this, facing down. Put your thumb in the middle of the back of your hand and just stretch from the center to the sides and go all the way to the knuckles. And then you can do it on the other side as well. And just on the fingers. And if you're doing it to someone else, you're holding, with both hands holding your partner's hand. So the thumbs are on the back of the hand, and then all the other fingers are on the palm. And both thumbs are stretching from the center to the sides. And you're doing this, all the way to the knuckles. And I'd like to use that moment as an opportunity for yourself, to yourself, or yourself to your partner, to maybe ask yourself a question. And that first question relating to touch is to think of a physical connection that makes you feel good. So you can just have a think about that on your own, or ask that to the partner who's getting massage and let them answer. So next movement, it's a stretch of the palm, and kind of similarly to the other movement, but you just hold your hand up like that, and with your thumb you're pressing from the center of the palm to the sides. That's really easy, really very simple, but you can also adapt and improvise. And so just thinking of stretching your palm, and that's a starting point, and you can do other things if you want. And if I'm doing it to Olivia now, I'll show you. So you can put your pinky fingers between the thumb and the pinky, like that. So that's stretching already. And then with both thumbs, stretching from the top and from the center to the sides. And as you're doing that, ask yourself or your partner, think of a time when you felt connected to someone without physical contact. Now the next move is called counting the money, and you can do it so starting at the top of the pinky finger. You're pinching that joint with your thumb and your index, and you're kind of rubbing around that joint, and then getting to the next joint, rubbing around that one as well, all the way to the tip of the finger, and pressing it. And then repeat this with the next finger. So counting the joints. and then letting go. And if you're doing it to someone else, that's really easy as well. So you can hold the palm, so palm facing down. And similarly, maybe you've got one hand just holding, and then the other hand with your index finger and your thumb making circles around the joint of the top of the pinky finger, and then going to the next joint, all the way down to the nail and press. And this time maybe you could try to think of a practice relating to touch which came up for you this year during COVID. If there's anything new that you've noticed. Next movement is called boa constrictor. So you're gonna do it, start with your pinky finger again, and then hold it with all your fingers and then the thumb on top. And you're squeezing and sliding all the way down the finger, press the nails and then let go energetically. So squeeze, slide, and then let go. You can do it several times, on one finger before going to the next one. It's a bit cold today, but if it was warmer, you could do like the whole arm and then the whole hand like that as well, which is nice. So if you're doing to someone else, really simple. You start again with the pinky finger, holding it with all your fingers and then a thumb on top, and then squeeze and slide, pinch and let go. Like this, and then going to the next finger. And as you're doing this, maybe ask yourself or your partner if there's a new kind of touch you would like to have more of in your life, and think of a way to make this happen. And you can do with both hands if you want. If you're squeezing the whole hand. We're getting to the end of the massage now. So maybe go back to how you were at the beginning, just general. I tend to just, after I've done those few movements, I improvise and find other things I want to do. So yeah, you can do a little bit of that and then just kind of get ready for the end by slowing down. And if you're with someone else and you've just done a movement, now you can go back to holding their hand like a handshake and telling them the massage is going to be over soon. And yeah, maybe you can check how they're feeling. And you can welcome feedback as well. But don't quiz them, just give them time and space. So you can welcome feedback, but yeah, not press them. Give them time. We're coming to the end of this lesson now. So before we leave, I'd like to invite you to have a think of maybe something that's come up for you relating to touch, which you'd like to explore more after this session. So just take a few moments to think about that. And once you've said that thing, now I'd like you to think of something you're going to do to celebrate straight after this lesson. Could be having a little dance, making yourself a cup of tea, going for a walk. So yeah, so in a few moments to think about something you're gonna do. Okay, so I'm going to leave you with this quote by Audre Lorde, who says, "We have to consciously study how to be tender with each other until it becomes a habit." Goodbye.